Peace, family. So we back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about they will force your hand. Your hand will be forced, And what I mean by your hand will be forced, meaning that you will have beings who uses the witchy playbook, and they will continuously push you and force you to make the appropriate response, with a small percentage of an appropriate reaction. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes we like to look at them like they different. You got to make sure you're responding versus reacting. Well, they both kind of go hand in hand. So when you have to think fast, if somebody's asking you a question or you're trying to figure something out and it's like on the spot, you usually have to process extremely faster and give them an answer much faster, which is still you responding and reacting to the immediate situation. But what we're facing in today's day and age more so is a lot of these beings who use the witchy playbook, they do a lot of this number, a lot of talking, a lot of threatening, a lot of lying. They will push buttons to infinity and beyond, and continue to act as if they are not pushing buttons. And as long as you are around these beings, or you have to engage with these beings, or you're choosing to engage with these beings proximity wise or due to your situation, either way, you are going to be forced to respond. It's like with everything in this realm, it's only but so much avoiding you can do, And unfortunately for them, they already have a bunch of bad fruit behind them. So when we are getting to a brink to where now we're having to respond and mix a little bit of our reaction together, now this lets the other team knows how serious we are. That's the thing. The other team will not take you serious if you are not showing you are serious. They're going to continue to ploy the same tactics. They're going to continue to kind of get at you the same way. It's going to be a whole mixture of the witchy sauce you're used to. You know what I'm saying? We all got the witchy sauce that people be trying to mix us with, but in this area, in this lifestyle, you get this kind of witchy stuff. In this area, this lifestyle, you get this kind of witchy stuff. So it's just a matter of how you are managing that part. And what I mean by even saying managing is like choosing to know your limit, your drawing point. So it's kind of like what I was mentioning in my live stream the other day about like, poking and prying at the bear, It's like, just because somebody isn't giving you a threatening or an aggressive response / reaction doesn't mean that they aren't serious with the energy that they are trying to give to you. A lot of times, for some of us, when we in serious situations, we try to make it as light as possible. And for some of these beings, they don't process the way we process. So with us trying to make it as light and empathetic as possible to tell them how serious we are as far as whatever situation or circumstance it is, it never has the same weight that it's supposed to have on it. And that's what I mean by eventually you get to a space to where you have to respond or react. So the way this world is set up right now, you have to understand, like, all right, I don't have to run around super aggressive or trying to bully people or slapping somebody every time they touch me, right? But what I can do is put limitations. Y'all know what time it is. Give it a second. So you have to put limitations on it. So what I mean by limitations, for me, if it's somebody who's close in my spiritual realm, or we have a tie, then there's a certain amount of times that they will get before I'm forced to respond. And even if I respond, it's like that doesn't stop from there if they try to continue. It's like another little set of limitations where it's allowed to go to where it shouldn't go to, but it's kind of like your gas tank. When you run out, you got a little bit more in reserve, you know what I'm saying? So for us, we do as much as we can to present it the best way possible, but we also let it be known how serious we are if we're pushed too far, because we're not being taken serious when we're presenting it to them in the beginning. And a lot of that is, y'all know that they use a different playbook. So if they processing things with a different playbook, you seeing sunshine, but they seeing, you know, a murdering light beam. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's completely different, you know what I'm saying? You seeing the rain is... I'm gonna let it go. You see the rain and the water as a source of life. But a lot of people with the other book will look at rain as dreary, you know, it puts a damper on their day. So it's all in how we're perceiving it. I was talking to somebody the other day, open perspective is cool, but you have to know where that open perspective is coming from. So like we was just saying just now with the rain and how people will perceive it. If somebody is beside me is perceiving it as if, okay, this is life, this is helping, you know, plant life outside or animal life or just life in general, I know where that perspective is coming from. But if somebody had mentioned that, oh, it's dreary and it's putting a damper on their day, then I would take that as they're using the other playbook. Because we always look at the cup as half full. They look at the cup as half empty. So when you take those two concepts in the hand, it's huge, you know? That's what keeps us fighting the good fight. And that's what allows us to be in these positions that we in, to kind of all reach out and help each other. It's like you start experiencing and going through it, and it's like, oh shit, I want to help other people get up out of that space. And even the ones that's not, is trying to figure something out as far as how they can. They back to backing right now. It's crazy. They was just chilling. And give us a second. But at the end of the day, because that plane just made me lose my point, because it's don't matter what time of day I come out here, I'm always trying to find different times of day, the best part, to get my woo sign to get this out. But it's like they doing this all day long, you know. So what we have to start doing, because as we experiencing this and we're all trying to help each other in this space, we have to continue to keep our foot down and our energy emphasized on that, because the other beings outside of that is focused on self, and they're focused on I and me, and they're not focused on we. I didn't mess this up by myself or turn it witchy, you know. None of you did either, you know. So if we didn't do it, but we are gonna have to put it back together. We're gonna have to make the stances to let the other beings around us know, okay, there's limitations. I know you haven't experienced them before with other beings and people before, because you're used to being able to demonically bully your way or manipulate your way through the situation. But once they get to certain beings, us, these checkpoints, then it becomes more prevalent that, all right, there is some consequences and repercussions. They may continue, depending on what age they at, but they understand that there is consequences and repercussions. And that's one thing that they really didn't take much heed of before you. So as far as life, that's what I mean by we're gonna be forced to make these stands by force, you know. unless you're just not going to be a solid being and stand on anything. You know, it is people out here that do that. That is not solid. They will not stand on anything whatsoever. You know what I mean? So I know that's not how most of us vibing over here. So I have been running 1,000 miles an hour, and just being able to get back out and Woosah and do this, I probably know my voice sound like I'm tired because I barely got any rest last night. And it's still like 1:30. I've been up since like 6:37, still going. It doesn't stop, you know. It's breaks in between there, but it doesn't stop. It's like I just said, once you get finished with putting the limitations down on a being that's doing something to you, you back to building and growing and trying to figure out the next few steps. So it's like every time you get a second to go, you're like, nah, I gotta hurry up and get these seeds sown, because when next winter come, I want to make sure that I'm in a much better position next winter than I was this winter. Every season, you know, we want to make sure that we doing better. Remember your spiritual seasons, you know. I'll probably do something on that again too, you know what I mean? It's a lot of activity, but I have been running up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get back to doing this, and y'all already see that we got the lives going, so it's gonna be a little mixture in between there, you know what I mean? Because I know some don't all want to chill and vibe through a whole 40, 50 hour, an hour and a half, you know, when I'm used to giving it this way, and I'm not live and outside, so I miss being outside, being able to film and give y'all this too, you know what I mean? That's what I do. But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I'm saying? We will have to take a stand. They will force your hand, you know what I mean? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.